What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today I want to talk about edge rusher, right? Obviously, the Colts have some injuries at edge rusher, and that's something that the Colts need to be better at this year is getting consistent edge pressure. Well, there's a defensive end out there in the league that seems very unhappy with this situation. Everybody on his team is getting paid this offseason with all the salary cap money that they have, but he hasn't gotten paid for what he's been able to do, being one of the better people at his position for the last few years. Now, he did get injured last year, but either way, Matthew Judon and his red sleeves have become synonymous with being one of the best edge rushers in the league, right? You look back to his stats since he got with the Patriots, where he really started to become, mostly and basically only an edge rusher. In 2021, 12.5 sacks, 2022, 15.5. So the numbers were going up. His edge pressure number is always pretty consistent, and it's right where you want it to be. And then when you look at 2023, he only had 4 sacks. Again, he got hurt, missed a decent portion of the season, wasn't there for it. So coming back this year, like, it's understandable with his age, coming off an injury, why the Patriots wouldn't want to pay him money. But I'm thinking that if this guy is able to stay on the field, then he's worth every penny that he's probably asking for. Like, is he trying to be the highest paid in the league? Probably not. Like, look at his career resume. Like, he's been good. He doesn't have the kind of resume that gives him the leverage to want, the most out of anybody. So coming into it, he's going to want a hefty price. The Colts have some money they can spend, right? And they have the kind of money that they can spend where they can go get a Matthew Judon and still get a safety. I think they still have that kind of cap flexibility. So it'll be interesting to see what the Colts decide to do. Now, has there been any talk about trading for Matthew Judon? No. This is all speculative, but I'm just paying attention to this Matthew Judon thing. I'm thinking, Samson Ebicom, our leading pass rusher from last year, got injured. He's out for the season. We already have Titus Leo. There's still been no news about Titus Leo, so I assume it's not as serious as I initially thought, right? Hearing a guy gets carted off with a knee injury a year after being out for a season with a knee injury. My head immediately went to, hey, he's going to end up on the IR again. No news about that, so I don't think that's the case. But he still hasn't been practicing. Dio with the calf injury hasn't been practicing. So maybe you go out, and if you really want to turn up the heat on 2024, right? Make your defense as good as possible in 2024. Maybe you do go out and get a Matthew Judon. Now, what would that cost in the long run? I feel like, I know pass rushers are getting paid a lot, but Matthew Judon, I'd say at most 22. Ideally, you're looking at like 18, right? And if it was like 18, 19, or a little lower, then you could still go get one of those safeties, right? And it probably helps you get one of those safeties. You go out and make a move and trade for a guy like Matthew Judon, then maybe one of those safeties is like, all right, they're pushing to try to really make a special defense here. Let me come join this. And they come in, maybe we don't have enough cap space to give them the money they wanted, but they come for a little less because we're making these moves. Like, those kinds of things can happen. So then at that point, like, what would it cost to get Matthew Judon? And I feel like with somebody at his age, somebody that wants money, you can get Matthew Judon in terms of trade value for like dollars on the penny or pennies on the dollar. So I think it would be a smart trade in terms of not giving up a lot of future assets. But from the perspective of paying them, that's really what people will have a problem with. Are you okay with that? If it's, hey, come in, we'll give you a contract for this year. Like, I don't know maybe you give him a contract for 2 years and maybe you throw Quiddy into the trade, right? Throw Quiddy into the trade because we have Quiddy for this year and next year. So then Matthew Judon comes in, you get him for this year, next year for, an average of 19 mil a year. If that were the case, I'd say, hey, bring him in. Have him on the opposite side of Latu, and I think those two would wreak havoc. And then you have Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner in the middle. I just think the combination of those four with the depth that we've started to create, I think would be deadly. And then next year you bring Samson Ebicom back and have him healthy and have him part of the rotation too. And boom, we're off and running, possibly Super Bowl contenders both years. So that's what I'm thinking with this. What's the likelihood of this happening? I don't know. I mean, we just found out that Chris Ballard tried to make a trade for the number 6 overall pick. We know that he's made high-profile trades before, right? Getting DeForest Buckner for a 6th-round pick, or I'm sorry, for a first-round pick. So I think Chris Ballard, no stranger making moves. Is this one that he's going to look into and want to make? We'll see. I think of all the situations, the trading situations, people holding in and holding out, this seems like the most disgruntled one of the group of in recent memory. And I think Matthew Judon seems like he's actually in a place where he could end up getting moved. The Patriots again are paying everybody but him, so it's going to be interesting to see what's happening. I know my guy over at Lions Syndicate, he's been talking about wanting Matthew Judon. I'm just going to throw the Colts name right into that hat. Bring him in and let's go get after the quarterback, make things easy for the secondary, and make sure that the offense, since they can put up 20 plus a game, and you expect that they're going to be able to do that, then boom, we're winning a lot of games. That's how I feel about it. So I'd like to know, of course, what your opinion is of this move. How would you feel if the Colts brought in Matthew Judon? What do you think he should get paid? You let me know down in the comment section. Of course, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We're going to continue having more videos like this. Also, training camp updates. And during live streams. So again, subscribe, have notifications turned on so you get notified when those videos come out. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.